Today, it's been 2 weeks since the release of iOS 15 and iPadOS 15. In this video, I'm going to give you my opinion regarding this latest software from Apple's iDevices, iPhones, and iPads. And obviously, I'm going to tell you some bugs that either might have experienced or people have been experienced. And at the end, I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, if it's a good device or not. Let's get to it. Okay, let's start talking about iOS 15. In my opinion, iOS 15 was an operating system that was rushed. It was put out to the people before it was actually ready. And there are various reasons why I say that, and I'm obviously going to give them to you. One of the things that happened to me personally was that the email preview on the lock screen had a little bit of a bug. When I open to see the preview of the email, it shows you the entire email. For those of you that have iOS, know what I'm talking about. But when I actually went all the way to the end to either delete it or take some other action with it, the buttons were so far down that they were not even on the screen. So they were not there. I was not able to take any actions with that preview of the email as I was able to in iOS 14. When I tried pulling the email up, it actually let me see the buttons. It brought them all the way from nowhere. It brought them all the way up. But I wasn't able to tap on those because my finger was still, the other finger was still touching the screen that I used to pull the email all the way up to. So maybe that's something that Apple will work on. It hasn't happened in the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but it was something that happened to me with the iPhone XS Max. So I don't know if it's just an issue for previous phones, but just so you guys keep a heads up, you guys know now that's been happening. One of the other things, and this has been happening, this did happen to me with both devices, is intermittent screen. The touch screen was not reading my finger. This happened to me with both devices, as I said before. I actually thought that it was that the app froze, or that the app froze because it wasn't updated to be able to be compatible with iOS 15. But when I was researching for this video, I found out that no, that this is an actual bug that iOS 15 has. You know, leave it to Apple to give a touchscreen bug to a new operating system. Way to go, Apple. Anyways, one of the other things that has been happening, and this is exclusively for iPhone 13 users, though I have heard that it doesn't happen to all, it happens to most, but not to all, is that you can no longer unlock your iPhone with your Apple Watch if your face is partially covered. This is obviously, considering what we're going through and what we are still going through, it's kind of frustrating because now you have to enter the information of your passcode in order to be able to unlock your device. So, I mean, it's definitely a step backwards considering everything that's going on. I think that and the touchscreen failing is one of the two things that Apple should have made sure it's good to go before they actually pushed out and rolled out iOS 15. Aside from that, Apple has said that it will have an update soon. They didn't indicate when, but that update will at least fix the Apple Watch and iPhone 13 issue. They did not specify if any of the other things that are happening to other people will be fixed with this update. So fingers crossed that they will work on that too. Let's go. Okay, now we're going to talk about iPadOS 15. iPadOS 15 of the two operating systems is the most confounding to me because it had so much expectation. It didn't meet those expectations, and then it had brought so many good updates, which I'm going to be mentioning later on, but it messed up in so many ways. People are having issues with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, downloading, and even working with some apps because of iPadOS 6.15. So just so you guys know, if you are having issues with since you installed iPadOS 15, it has been happening with a lot of people. For me, the most frustrating part about iPadOS 15 was the removal of the Today view. It feels like a step backwards, to be honest. iPadOS, this is the second version, no, third. The third version, second year, third version. iPadOS started in 2019, and now we have iPadOS 15, and it actually feels like a step backwards when you remove Today view, and I'm going to tell you why. Don't get me wrong, being able to place your widgets anywhere you want is something that I know a lot of people wanted, but you should have kept the option for people who wanted the Today view to keep the Today view. I actually enjoy the Today view more than I would using widgets anywhere, placing widgets anywhere that I want, because I had all my widgets that I used there. I know people probably use more widgets than others, so that's why it would have been nice for you to have the option to have both. For those of you who don't have an iPad, the Today view gives you the, on your left hand side when you're in landscape, it gives you the time, date, and your widgets, whichever widgets you wanted to have there. Now that's not the option anymore. Now you have your widgets anywhere on the screen. The problem is that depending on the widget that you choose, you're eliminating 1, 2, and sometimes even 6 spaces of either icons or folders in your screen and your particular page from iPadOS. And the other thing is that the space now between each one of the icons is immense. And for a company that has said that they wanted to take advantage of the extra screen space, this actually seems like a very big step backwards, in my opinion. So I don't know if they are going in a future update to give you the option of getting Today view back. I actually, one of the few things that I had, of the few widgets that I had, was the battery. I had the most recent apps, or the most frequent apps, and I had the time, MLB scores, weather, and I had to obviously make some tough choices because I have everything in just one screen. I don't have to slide through the pages of apps. I just have everything on one screen. So in order to be able to keep it that way, I had to sacrifice some of those widgets, which I actually enjoyed. I had to sacrifice them in order to be able to keep everything on one screen, right? My OCD. Yeah, I'm just like that. Yeah, I do have OCD, so that's probably the OCD manifesting itself a little bit there. WatchOS. I have absolutely no complaints about WatchOS. That's why I'm not even gonna talk about it. It hasn't had any issues for me, and actually, I have more battery now. It is 6:23 right now. I unplugged my Apple Watch from charging at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I still got 78% battery left. So that's actually pretty good. I actually used to be less. That's just down 22%. So that's awesome. So it's 6 o'clock. So in a few hours it'll be 12 hours that it has been unplugged, and I've only used 22%. So I think that's awesome. Anyways, if you guys have had issues that I didn't mention, I just wanted to mention the most common. But if you guys have had any issues with either iOS 15, iPadOS 15, and even WatchOS 8, put it in the comments below so we can start that conversation. Maybe we can even make a list to send to Apple so they can fix those things up. If you agree with me regarding the Today view, go ahead and leave it in the comments down there so we can go ahead and maybe push Apple to go ahead and restore the Today view on iPadOS. While you're down there, go ahead and smash that like button and hit the subscribe button and that bell so you can get notified when we have new videos. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, help us grow so we can reach more people everywhere in the world, and we can go ahead and do better for you guys, do these videos better for you guys. Remember, we're available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and obviously YouTube at J.R. Abrams Tech, so you can stay up to date with the latest news and rumors about tech. Until next time.